troublemakers, the types of them that are out there, and generally how to deal with them when the situation comes up. This is more for the mods that are out there rather than the player side, but anyone can kind of watch it and you can kind of understand why some people post the way they do in the forums. Dealing with the troublesome ones, there's usually the most common one is the antisocial lash-outs. They're the ones that in their personal lives they don't have any friends, and the ones they do hang around with, if they do, are usually not the greatest ones to hang around. And so they're frustrated, they have nowhere else to vent, they can't complain to their parents, or the problem could be with their parents. It's just, there's a myriad of different things for those ones. Whenever something goes wrong, they're usually the ones that are instantly there, and they're blowing things out of proportion. They're making it life or death. And whatever you tell them, they don't listen to. They're very assertive at their posts. They're very accusatory. They'll sit there and say that it's your fault, you guys need to fix this, blah 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 blah. Those ones are usually the ones, they're way out of control, way fast. And usually the best way to deal with them is just ban them for a short period of time from the communication section, so forums or in-game if they're filing support tickets or just talking in the chat rooms. Just get rid of them for about an hour, and that generally calms them down. And make sure that you when you give them the ban, you explain to them that it's for an hour, they need to calm down, everything's getting looked at, and just generally reassure them. And with the calm down ban, their frustrations will seep out from their personal lives, and they can relax, and then they'll come back generally in a better mood. That's if they fall into that category. There's the ones that are just plain troublemakers. They go into the forums, they troll, they cause crap, and there's really not much you can do about those things that they complain about. They pick the stupidest things to argue about. They'll find the weakest argument, and they'll just pick it apart. They'll blow it out of proportion. They try to instigate others as well. They'll sit there and go, hey guys, you know, this is what's going on, we need to, and they'll try to talk, and they're typing as a group rather than as an individual, like the antisocial. The antisocial, it's me, 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 me. With the troublemaker, it's us, we, you know, those guys. They'll try and, you know, those guys being the company, they'll try and direct it towards the company as generalities rather than specifics. When you explain the arguments that they have in the forums or in the chat or wherever, they'll ignore your argument almost in its entirety. Your argument may have a lot of grounded facts, it may have backing, that kind of stuff. They'll take a look at your argument and they'll find the weakest argument that's in there. It might not even have anything to do with the original argument, but they'll find the weakest point, and that's what they'll attack. And with people being kind of, you know, followers, you know, the mob mentality, people will be like, yeah, 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 and then they'll get in, and that's exactly what the troublemaker wants. They want them to be themselves to be the center of attention. They want all this commotion started, and then usually afterwards they'll sit back and just laugh. The best way to deal with those types of people is to remove them from that section, from the chat forums, wherever. Take them out of there. Whereas with the antisocial lash out where you ban for an hour, the troublemakers you usually want to ban for a day. And then when they come back, you want to escalate it a little bit more and ban them for 2 days. Because you don't want that kind of anarchy happening in your game or in your forums. Things will just get bad. The whole forums will be taken over. And what that does is you'll get people that have no idea what's going on. They'll see the arguments, and then they're either just going to leave the game because they think, wow, all these people are against the system, it's horrible, we got to get out of here. You lose the players, you lose the financing from the players. It's all around a bad thing to have these types of people around. Where you might think that these guys are more common than not. It's not really true. The troublemakers aren't that common. On the games that I've worked on, I've had maybe 2 or 3 in the forums out of maybe 6,000 players that are active. So it's not really that prominent. The thing with them, though, is they're usually the loudest spoken. So when they argue, they'll argue loudly, and it'll cause a big commotion. So it seems like you're always dealing with that, but it's usually the biggest fires you got to put out. But it's not the most common fire. I got my notes on that. Then there's people that are generally upset. They're the ones that they'll come across something, there's a bug or there's a post that they don't like, the dealings of staff towards players, and they're generally upset. Something's gone wrong, and sometimes they could even just be confused. Maybe they don't understand the technology for the game, they're not used to the style of game, how it operates. They bought some premium features and they're not sure how that was done, so they think that if it takes 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever, for the premium feature to activate, they don't sometimes know about that, and they get confused and upset, and they'll start attacking. And generally those ones, though, will listen to arguments. They won't pick anything apart. They'll listen very well. Those are the nice ones to deal with. The confused and generally upsets. When you're dealing with them, you should explain to them as if you're talking to a child. I know some people are probably going to get upset over that one, but it's generally the best way to deal with those types of people, because they're either confused or generally upset. They don't know what's going on. So talk to them as if they know absolutely nothing. It's not condescending. It's not talking down to them as, oh, well, you don't know this. It's just explain everything as if you're telling somebody who's never touched the game, never touched premium features, hasn't had anything to do with that before. Just talk to them. And that generally smooths things over really, really, really quick. With the last types of people that you kind of deal with are the ones that are used to getting their own way. Those are the ones that are spoiled in real life. They get what they want, when they want, how they want it. It's not necessarily mean that they're rich or they're well-to-do. It's just they're just used to getting what they want and how they want. And when something goes wrong, a bug happens or something, they're generally the ones that jump right up and say, hey, I want recompense. Give me free premium. Give me free whatever. Give me free troops. Give me whatever. They're the ones that, again, they're kind of focused on themselves. What can they get out of a situation? And with those ones there, it's just easiest thing to do is just be honest. Just sit there and say, look, if I gave this to you, I have to give it to everyone else, and it'll lopside everything for power in the game if I keep recompensing people for small issues. Don't try and be sly and sit there and go, hey, you know what? Here's some premium or some troops or whatever. Just between me and you, though, just, da-da-da-da. Don't expect that. They're going to go around, they're going to tell everyone else, hey, I got this. They're going to brag in the game to their buddies in private chat systems, that kind of stuff. So don't be sly and reward them and try to think that's going to go under the table. They're usually pretty outspoken. Just tell them that it's not going to happen, you can't do that. They'll usually try and put up a fight or an argument, and when they do that, just pass it along to someone higher up the food chain. When it gets up to a higher up the food chain, just a little bit, they'll generally accept that part. They won't keep going up. If they do, just tell them it ain't going to happen. And that's about it. That's what we have for types of players and the best ways that I've found over the years to deal with them. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next video.